SportsNOLA.com, Lenny Vangilder at Sunbelt Conference Media Day, visiting with the commissioner of the Sunbelt Conference, Karl Benson. That's me on the left. That's the commissioner on the right. We just want to make that clear. Thanks.
I got the tie.
You got the tie. I got the golf shirt. So I know you'd probably rather it be the other way, but that's okay. We are football season's here. That's why we're here, and that's got to be an exciting time that we are ramping up another year for your league.
Well, a lot of energy in the room here today, Lenny, and we've got 11 coaches and 22 student athletes that have been here the last day and a half, and started out yesterday at a clinic out at New Orleans East, and a great turnout, 350 local kids that had an opportunity to go shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow with a lot of our student athletes and coaches, and then today has just been spectacular. Our coaches are so energized, and they're so optimistic about the upcoming season. You can't help but get excited about college football.
And I know you're optimistic as well. And in your State of the League address, this morning, you made it a point of emphasis about those non-conference games, kind of those opportunities out there. But it wasn't what everybody might expect. Hey, we need to go, win a few games against Power 5 conferences. No, it was more about those key non-conference games against your peers, those 16 games. Elaborate a little bit on that, and how you think that positions you going forward if you can get success in those games.
Well, I think the new college football playoff structure has separated the 5 quote power conferences and our 5, the Sun Belt, the Conference USA, Mountain West, Mid-American, and the American. We are part of a revenue distribution program that's based on performance, and there's a lot of money at stake, and we need to be able to compete against them, and we need to be the highest ranked conference, and that's our goal. Then you take that along with the new structure that rewards the highest ranked champion of our 5 conferences, and that team, which was Boise State last year, gets an automatic berth in one of the the New Year's Day games, Fiesta Bowl, Peach Bowl, Cotton Bowl, and so that's at stake. And so what better way to separate yourselves from the competition than to play them?
Certainly the monetary game has changed significantly, and certainly in your time, even just here in New Orleans, but in your career as an administrator, with the distribution being what it is now, it truly is, that, and the differences in those schools aren't a lot. I mean, 2 years ago, we're having the conversation that, the Sun Belt was number 1 of those 5 conferences when it all played itself out. Last year, not so much the case, but it's that fine of a line when you're talking about these 5 leagues, isn't it?
It is, and we weren't that far last year from being in the number 4 spot, and yet today, as we look down the road, our goal is to be number 1 again. And again, with that comes prestige, it comes notoriety, it comes recognition. It also puts that champion in play to be that highest ranked champion. And so that's our goal. Now, not that we don't want to, we play 9 games against the SEC, and we certainly would like to win 2 or 3 or more of those games, and those are signature wins that go a long ways. But at the end of the day, it may be just as important, if not more important, to win the games against Conference USA and the Mountain West and the MAC and the American Conference.
As you look at this 2015 season, you've got some teams that have the potential to, if they put those right kind of wins together, perhaps be in the position to be that team that is getting their name called to play in a New Year's Day bowl game, don't you?
Absolutely, and I think that you only have to look as close as the Raging Cajuns at UL Lafayette. That their non-conference schedule right now is set up very, very conducive to some success. And if you take those 4 non-conference games with Kentucky, Northwestern State, Akron, and Toledo, I believe that those games are all winnable games, and then you get into conference play, and who knows what happens after that. So, we've got some teams that are starting to get the idea of strategic scheduling. And Scott Farmer at UL Lafayette certainly understands it. And President Savoie has given Scott the resources to not have to depend on those $1 million guarantee games anymore. And when you don't have to depend on that, it gives your teams and your student athletes a much better chance to win.
You also mentioned this morning at your State of the League address about, before the conversation for possibly going to 12 teams was very much football driven. Now, with the pending, if you will, NCAA legislation that would get voted on in January to perhaps allow leagues with less than 12 teams to host a conference football championship game, that may not be the driver anymore. Now it's more some of those other sports and being able to enhance those regional rivalries and play on a divisional basis in those leagues. Did you see this coming, and just how important is that to really be able to get to 12 for those other reasons?
Well, we've always wanted to get to 12. 3 years ago at this time when I came on board, that was the model that we wanted to get to, and that's what we set out to accomplish, and we got there for a short period of time, had a defection, and then got left with one short, and the one short was in the East. And I think all you have to do is look at the map and the geography, and see what we were trying to do. 2 teams in Texas, 2 in Arkansas, 2 in Louisiana in the West makes perfect geographical sense. 2 in Alabama, 2 in Georgia. Then we have Appalachian State that's now by themselves. So we need to fix the East. We need to find a team in the East that is compatible and fits in that footprint to kind of duplicate the perfect structure that we have in the West, because if we can duplicate that in the East, it'll help everyone.
It'll be interesting to see and a lot to follow. Best of luck for all your schools and for the league in 2015. And, of course, we're just down the street. We'll be keeping close eye.
You got it. Thanks so much.